Good morning. It's, well, afternoon at this point. Well, it's still early. It's Monday. This episode of Facebook Live is a little bit later than normal, but we're here. We're still going. We're ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and give it a second and wait and see if anybody pops in. I've got my iced tea. I've got the box office report from this weekend and one news story that broke as well. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that, and we'll see if anybody pops in here in a second. All right, let's get going. All right, so for this weekend's box office, we didn't see too much of a difference from Friday's box office report that we did on the last Facebook live stream from Phoenix Comic-Con's Fan Fest, but the numbers obviously did increase. So coming in at number 5, right, we always go from number 5 all the way to number 1. So for number 5, Jigsaw. Jigsaw brought in $3,420,000. Number 4 is A Bad Mom's Christmas, bringing in $11,510,000. Number 3, Murder on the Orient Express with $28,200,000. Next is Daddy's Home 2, coming in at number 2 with $30 million. And finally, Thor Ragnarok, bringing in $56,600,000. So overall, this isn't really too surprising after we saw what they did on Friday. One of the big things that surprised me, however, is the drop-off from week 1 to week 2 for Thor Ragnarok, because I thought this movie had a lot of rewatchability. I know I saw it twice opening weekend, and I figured that most people would be going out to see it more than once because it's a really fun, entertaining, just visually stunning film with great comedy, great action, and it ties up a lot of the Thor trilogy, and it allows for like a whole new movement for the Thor character going forward, which I really liked. So, but at a 53% drop off from week 1 to week 2, which is surprising to me. I thought we'd see something probably in like the 30%, not necessarily 50%. So that was surprising. Next, also Geostorm is still in the top 10. Again, it's the little engine that could. And that came in at number 7. Blade Runner still in the top 10. So, I mean, and then Lady Bird, which is an independent film released by A24. And that came in at number 10. So I need to check and see. I don't remember offhand when the release date is for Lady Bird nationwide, but I believe it's coming up. Or it just happened. I don't know. Like I said, I have to double check. But this is pretty impressive for the top 5. I mean, for Jigsaw, it's pretty impressive to still be in the top 5 with only, just under 3,500,000, just under that. So kudos to everybody that's seeing Jigsaw. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. We got, as you just heard on this week's show, we had Christmas movies 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row. So everybody's gearing up for the holiday season. But yeah, so sound off with your thoughts if you're watching this on the replay about the top 5 or just the top 10 in general. And let me know what you guys thought about where everything ranked. Also, if you saw any, excuse me, if you saw any of the movies in the top 10, go ahead and leave your comments below with what you thought about those films that you caught while they were in theaters this past weekend. All right, so let's go ahead now. As I was getting ready to drive over here, Collider, the good folks over at Collider, so hello everybody at Collider, they dropped a story on Twitter that caught my attention, and I was like, ooh, we can go ahead and talk about this today. So Morbius, the living vampire. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Morbius, the living vampire, he's actually been around for quite a while, and I've talked to people ad nauseum about how this character needs to be in a movie. So what did Sony do? Sony decided we're going to go ahead and make that happen, but we're going to go ahead and give him his own spin-off film. So Sony had already announced previously that they're going to be doing these spin-off films for these villains. They talked about the Sinister Six for a while and everything else. So it's not abnormal for Sony to be like, we're going to make a spin-off film that is apart from the Spider-Man thing, even though it's part of the Spider-Man thing. Sony's kind of already told us that this is something that they're interested in doing and they will do. So, okay. Morbius the Living Vampire, though, his first appearance was in Spider-Man 101, issue number 101, and that was back in 1971. So he's been with us for a long, long time. but he's not technically a vampire by like supernatural bit by Dracula means. He was a doctor slash scientist who had a blood issue, and he was trying to find a cure for that blood issue, and it turned him into Morbius, the living vampire. So similar to other villains in the Spider-Man mythos, where they're like scientists that, you know, the experiment goes wrong, now they're a monster. So this is not too off of the center point for Spider-Man films, so, or the Spider-Man characters in general. But it is curious that they decided to make a spin-off film of Morbius, and I don't know, this is just wild speculation because I just saw it this morning before my drive to the office here. I don't know if that's signaling that we may be also getting a Blade movie anytime soon being remade, because I'd be down for that, because the first Blade movie is still pretty dope. But hey, why not Morbius the living vampire? We've been talking about it. Well, I've been talking about it for a couple years now about how this needs to happen. So thank you, Sony, for finally greenlighting this to see if we can make it happen. So curious to see what comes from this story. Stay tuned to this channel because we will be talking about it as more news drops. All right, so let's go ahead. Oh, and if you're watching this on replay, I'll go ahead and throw the link for the Collider article in the show notes below. So go ahead and check that out. Also, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and leave your thoughts about this story. Are you familiar with Morbius? If so, what are your thoughts about a Morbius film that's going to be a spin-off solo film happening in the Sony Spider-Man universe, and then also possibly connecting the Marvel Spider-Man that's still owned by Sony? Yeah. So let us know what you think about this whole situation. And also, go ahead and, if you're a fan of Morbius, share your favorite Morbius run in the comments below. That way we know what we can pick up at the local comic book shop to check out before this film actually drops in theaters. All right. And that pretty much wraps it up for this week's Facebook Live Monday morning box office breakdown report. And one news courtesy of the good folks over at Collider. So again, check the comment section for that link, and then you can go right to their website and read the full article that they wrote up there. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode 18 that just dropped on YouTube for this week's brand new episode of Bernansky's Vlog. Hope everybody watching this on replay also enjoyed this Facebook live stream. And as always, don't forget to click the subscribe button and give me that thumbs up, because it does help like-minded people who are into movies and everything else find this show so that they can contribute to the movie watching and movie loving community. All right, everybody, I'm Jeremy Bernansky. This is Bernansky's Vlog. This has been another Facebook live stream, and we're going to get out of here. Have a great week, and we will see you next Monday on YouTube with a brand new episode of Bernansky's Vlog. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.